Blizzard have talked quite a bit about PvP lately, and honestly, they've got me kind of excited. Still, take everything with precisely 4,986 salt crystals because it's very early on. The devil is in the detail, and, well, we don't know all the details, and it's possible that this could all succumb to some problem we're not foreseeing. So keep that in mind, but onwards to the brilliant shit. So first of all, Blizzard are taking a number of steps to decouple PvP and PvE balance. No matter where you stand on the two, that's pretty much fantastic news for everyone. For a long time, PvP designers have been limited by the need for almost identical parity between the two things which are essentially separate game modes. The first thing that Legion does is it has a separate set of talents which are only active in PvP combat. This means the balance of each can be tuned specifically to the content, which is a very good step, even if you are a raider. Another excellent thing is that it allows them to tailor PvP gameplay to be what they want, and this is what I think could be really cool. With separate talents, they can emphasize various aspects of the game that they feel create the best PvP gameplay. That could get really cool. With there being far fewer limits, both PvE and PvP players should have the potential for a game and sort of skill set and toolkit that is far more tailored to what they are doing, which is certainly a pretty nice thing. Plus, let's be honest, the community has wanted something like this for a very long time. Now, the next big feature was announced by Helinka on a PvP tournament stream maybe a week and a half ago. Each spec is going to have its own preset stat profile when they enter PvP combat. What does that mean? Well, basically it means that the balance of your various stats is predetermined, with your gear's item level sort of weighting that up and down, such that someone with top level PvP gear will be maybe 8% more powerful as opposed to today's crazy power deltas. What this means is that if a specific spec is performing too well, they can tone down their stat profile, and if the opposite is true and it's too weak, then they can also fix that. This should, in theory, allow them to tweak numbers without really nerfing specific skills, and that should mean that they will be able to balance PvP without really needing to change the gameplay in a super noticeable manner, or at least as much as, say, a large spell change would affect how the game actually feels and plays. Importantly, it also gives them a way to tweak the raw PvP numbers that has basically zero effect on the PvE elements of the game, which something to me, like as primarily a raider, probably that'll be the case in Legion, that's got me very happy. Also, having the difference in power between the gear levels being squished down so it's not as significant is a really nice thing. Starting off much later in a PvP season is generally a pretty horrific experience because your skill doesn't matter as much as it should. You've got crap gear, you get wrecked, there's nothing you can really do about it, unless of course you're very good and you're playing against someone with lots of gear that doesn't really know what they're doing. Now this problem should be greatly mitigated. Halfway through a PvP season, it should be a lot more viable to start off on a poorly geared alt. Now, for me, PvP is all about skill in the games that I PvP in, so for WoW, I'd imagine that's really what it should all be about, and it seems like this is going to emphasize that a lot. They've also changed progression quite a bit. It's essentially hopped over to a Call of Duty model. Now, I put an absurd amount of time into Call of Duty 2, 4, and a fair few hours into Black Ops 2. Essentially, you have 50 levels, which you zoom up really quickly by doing PvP content, and you unlock PvP talents as you level, a bit like how you'd unlock new guns in Call of Duty, though apparently they unlock very fast, which is very important, with the latter levels just giving you more options rather than more power. On the surface, I like this, and what they've said sounds good, but there are concerns. For an example, what if the last few talents end up being more powerful than some of the early ones? That's going to create an imbalance. Or what if the inverse happens? That means that perhaps progression won't feel as good to some players who are really into unlocking shiny things over the actual gameplay, for some reason. Now, I would hope that they pay special care to the balance of these talents so that everything is sort of nice, but the rate at which they unlock, if it is going to be super fast, then I suppose it wouldn't matter that much if one of the later talents is a bit more powerful because, hey, you unlock them so quickly, it doesn't matter. Again, that's all about the devil being in the detail, we'll have to wait and see. Now, when you hit level 50, you're able to Prestige, which resets your level and allows you to unlock some pretty cool things, including artifact weapon skins, mounts, and portrait icons. the cosmetic element of WoW is very strong, so being able to earn cosmetic items via running battlegrounds is something that's just very, very nice, and it's certainly a thing that would get me PvPing more. Now, to me, a good game of Warsong Gulch or Rithai Basin is actually sometimes more fun than Arena. I get my ultra-competitive gaming itch pretty much scratched by StarCraft 2. Now, currently, that battleground gameplay becomes really useless really fast because there's not a great deal of reward or stuff to do, even though they are just intrinsically fun for the sake of fun. But with this system, there will always be a reason to run them, which is certainly very nice. Overall, I think this might create that sort of gameplay feel that many of us, at least with my sort of generation, and this is where I show my age, would have got with, say, like Halo 2 or Halo 3, where you would just go and just, churn out map after map after map because it was just really fun. With allowing Battlegrounds to be sort of really relevant, I hope that will happen again. And it's also a lot more just alt-friendly and casual-friendly. You can hop in, do a few BGs, no pressure, and that's totally a good thing for getting people into PvP. Especially combined with the skirmish system that Warlords added, which I think is pretty cool. So hopefully this will reduce queues for BGs and keep skilled players within the BG pool for longer, because they're still going to get, like, experience or whatever to level up to unlock more cosmetics if they're into that sort of thing. So there are some concerns. We have not heard about new forms of PvP content. We don't have a new battleground or arena sort of on the current roster of things for Legion, and we haven't got one since mid-Mists of Pandaria, which is absolutely unacceptable in my book. Putting all of their eggs in the Ashran basket clearly did not work. Since battlegrounds are going to matter more, then I would like it if they took a good look at that content. Having separate queues for Zerg-style and smaller-style battlegrounds would be lovely, since I think they cater to different audiences. Certainly I do prefer the smaller scale ones a lot more, because I think individuals can shine there, which is definitely quite gratifying. Now that it's like a Call of Duty sort of system, I almost see the different maps as kind of matchmaking playlists that you can hop into. And on that topic, I wouldn't mind seeing some different game modes, or perhaps some alterations to some of the existing battlegrounds that don't really work out that well in practice, like that one they added in MoP that was in the hill, that to this day I still think I haven't actually had any fun in that damn place. So there you go, that's essentially the overview of what I think about the PvP stuff we've heard. Very, very good systems changes, lots of things that are very encouraging, and will hopefully have some excellent knock-on effect. So even if you're not into PvP, this is good news for you, because it should mean that the content that you are interested in is overall going to be better balanced because of the classes. However, I'm going to repeat that statement I made at the start of this video, and that is that this could all sound fine and dandy now and work out to be absolute bollocks when it comes out. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope for the best, because that is what we all want, right? So, yeah, there you go. Good news. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see, but until then, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what kind of battleground types or any new cool battleground ideas that you have down in the comments, because I really like the idea of having some new forms of gameplay there. But other than that, I will see you next time.